Hello and welcome back to Wheel Hot Girl Shit. My name is Danica Whitsitt and I'm your host. And I am so happy to be back. Today's episode is going to be a little all over the place because I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Let's Make a Deal behind the scenes. And then I also wanted to answer some questions I had gotten from the beginning of my podcast when I asked you guys if you had any questions or you wanted me to answer anything in my podcast. And so there were a couple questions I didn't get to answer in the wheelchair disability episode, like about my story and everything like that. So I wanted to answer those real quick in the beginning. So let's get into it. Okay, so one question I gotten when you guys had asked me questions was advice on how to gain lasting friendships. So my advice for that would be just to put yourself out there and don't be afraid to be yourself because the right people will stick around and the wrong people will let themselves out or they'll just you'll be seeing them less. But yeah, I feel like I just try to find friends that have the same interests and that put forth that energy towards me in the same way that I do towards them. And I love people that just don't take life too seriously. I don't know. It just depends on the person you are and depends on the people that you want to attract in your life and the people that you want to keep around. I feel like pause is just scratching at the window. Um, but yeah, I feel like just nourishing the friendships that you have and making sure you're putting forth that effort as well, making plans and asking them if they need help with their mental health or with their, anything they have going on. I feel like it's really easy to get all kinds of backed up with our own lives in our head. And so sometimes it's easy to forget that we have friends and we need to nourish them as well. I love pouring into my friends. I honestly think that I pour into my friends more than I do myself sometimes. And I know that isn't great and I'm trying to work on that. But I feel like just showing up for your people and that is how it's going to last a long time. Just making sure that you are there for them and you are helping them and supporting them in whatever they can do. It's important and they want to feel loved by you and seen by you and just listening to them. I feel like that is also all of my closest friends that I've had for so long, they listen to me, I listen to them, they help me through whatever, it doesn't matter. They're going to be there for me. And same with me to them. I will be there for them through anything. And I feel like that's really rare, especially in this day and age with everything and social media and all of that. But just keeping your friendships solid and making sure that you guys are always good and they're always good. Because life is hard sometimes and we all need our friendships. And I feel like friends are what make the world go round. I love my friends. I could be nowhere without my friendships. So I hope I answered that good. I kind of feel like I went all over the place. So sorry if that was kind of an all over the place answer. But then another question was how to not let able bodied people's comments get to you. I feel like this was really hard for me in the beginning because I lived in Miami and everyone was staring at me. There wasn't very many wheelchair people or people who use wheelchairs in Miami. And so I was kind of an odd duck. And I really got down in the beginning when I moved there because people would make comments or they would just stare at me as I was going down the road. I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in the negative side of things. And when I first got injured, I am definitely guilty of that. I feel like I would be so, so sad over people's judgments or the way they would look at me or the way I would feel because I was left out of something. But I feel like the more you get to know yourself, the more you get to love yourself, just realizing that you're the same person with or without the wheelchair. And people's comments, people will say whatever and do whatever, but that doesn't mean you have to let it affect you. You know, sometimes it hurts, and I totally get that because I get hurt by comments a lot. And, you know, I used to get really sad about people staring at me all the time. But now it's like I don't even pay attention to them. I'm just in my own world. I'm like, I'm a boss bitch wheeling down the street. Fuck y'all. You know, so I feel like that confidence just grows in you once you realize who cares? We're only here for such a short amount of time on this earth. Like, why would you want to waste it thinking about what other people are saying to you or what other people are looking at you like or doing to you? Just I feel like spacing, giving yourself grace and some space to be like, no, I'm gonna wheel around here and look like a boss ass bitch. And I feel like the confidence will grow every time you go out and you think to yourself, I'm not gonna pay attention to anything that happens, even if, say for example, like in Miami one night I didn't get we waited in line for Cardi B for hours, and we didn't get in. And he was like, well, there's just no room for the wheelchair. And we were in the front of the line the entire time. And that got me so, so sad. But I kind of just took a step back, took a breath, and I was like, you know what? That's okay. I'm going to write a nasty review, and, you know, hopefully they learn their lesson. If not, that's okay, but at least I tried, and I'm not going to let this ruin my day. I'm not going to let this ruin my life, just worrying about that type of stuff, because that type of stuff is going to happen all the time. People are going to say comments all the time. People are going to stare all the time. So it's like I can control how I feel and how I move, and I want to move with that confidence and make sure that I'm having a good life and not worrying about what others think, because it's exhausting worrying about what others think. You just can't do that. You just really can't do that. So yeah, and then I think those were the two questions that I was like, ooh, I really, really wanted to answer this episode. And so we're kind of pivoting, but I did want to talk about Let's Make a Deal. Because me and Dami were on today. We didn't know we were gonna be on today. We didn't know it was going to be aired. They told us we were episode 173 and it aired episode 166, I think, today. So I was like, my grandma called and she's like, you're on the TV. I was like, what? But yeah, so that was super exciting. We filmed that last August or October. And it was such a cool experience. We got to meet Wayne Brady. We got to see the set, and Price is Right was right behind it. It was just such a cool day, and honestly, it wasn't super long. Anytime we go to shows, like we've gone to Jimmy Kimmel before and it's pretty short, but we've gone to The Voice and stuff like that, and there are long days. Like we went to The Bachelor, it was like 15 hours long, like just long ass days. And so when we were going to Let's Make a Deal, we were actually participating in the game. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's probably going to be a long day, but it's going to be so fun. It's going to be worth it. And it wasn't that long of a day. We were only there for a couple hours. And when we first got there, they like did the screening, and we drove on like this golf cart to an elementary school and then to the studio. I'm not really sure. But we waited in this elementary school. It was like the holding area, and we got to meet a bunch of people that were doing the show with us, and everyone was so lovely and nice. Everyone was dressed up really cute as well. And I have some tea about our outfits as well in a sec, but we'll get to that. But at the holding place that they had us in, there was coffee, there was snacks, there was photo booth, there was like literally everything you could ever dream of while you're waiting to go on a show. So we waited there for like half hour, I would say, and then they pulled us in for like an interview, a pre-interview before the show, and we just talked to one of the casting girls, and she was like, "Give me your best energy." So we did that, and she looked at Dom and she was like, "You need to get on her level." And so Dom stepped it up. He stepped it up, and he brought that energy because we had to get on. I told him we need to play the game because some people go on and they don't get to play, they don't get called on. So I was like, "Excuse you." They just paused, just yelled at Mr. Kitty. But yeah, some people come on and they don't get to play. So I was like, we need to get to play. So we brought that energy in the interview, and she was like, "You're so great, love ya, whatever." And so we went back to the room, ate some snacks, listened to some music, took some pictures, and then the person came in and was like, "Okay, this is how it's all going to work." Basically, gave us the lowdown, um, gave us like cues on our energy and everything like that. Just kind of how to bring the energy, and how being like this on TV looks really bad. Of course, we're on Let's Make a Deal. We're going to go all out. And so we end up taking the golf cart back to the studio. We go into the studio, and we were sat in front frickin' row. Front frickin' row. And so I was like, I think this is a good sign. I think this is a great sign. And we played the game. It was so much fun. Dom twerked on me. When Wayne Brady called us out, Wayne Brady was like, "I was not expecting that." Um, but yeah, so it was honestly such a great time. I 10 out of 10 would do it again. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but the people who get zonked actually do get a little cash prize. So that's really nice. So if you do get zonked, you at least leave with something. But if you haven't watched the episode yet, this is basically just a brief summary. But um, we initially got a trip to Sweden, and we were like freaking out. We were like, "Oh my God." And then he was like, "You're going to have to pick the key though, out of 4 keys, which key will open the box to Sweden, or open the lockbox so you get your gift to Sweden." And that's like not great chances, out of 4. And they were like, "Or you can take what's in this box." And it was a year's worth of date nights at the movie theater, at the bowling alley, and the arcade. And me and Dom love the movie theater and the bowling alley. Those are 2 things that we love to do together. And so we were like, easy choice if we get to take this gift home and we don't have to bet on odds. So we took the gift home. They let us see if our key opened the box anyways. It didn't. Thank goodness we went with the right gift. But yeah, and then everyone else played, and one of the couples won the huge prize at the end. So that was so exciting for them. And yeah, it was just such a cool experience. We made so many friends, and we got to dress up. Oh yeah, back to the outfits. Okay, so the casting director was like, "You need to get outfits." And it was like 2 days before. And I was like, "Oh no." So we went to Spirit Halloween. Yeah. Party City. I don't know. One of those. And we went and saw all the Halloween costumes, and it couldn't have logos, and it couldn't be like, couldn't have names on it, whatever. And so we saw some Ted Lasso outfits we really wanted, but they had words on it. Um, so we ended up going with Barbie, which roller skating Ken and Barbie, because it didn't have words on it and it was super colorful. We were looking cute. We were like, okay, we'll just wear them for the show, return them after. They were like $55. Who wants to pay $55 for a Barbie outfit? And it's made of like the thinnest shit. No. So we did exactly that. We wore them for the show. Sorry, Spirit Halloween, if you're watching this. I'm so sorry. We wore them for the show. washed them, put them back in the package, brought them to Spirit Halloween, got that refund, baby, because we need that money. And so, yeah, honestly, it was such a great experience. Wayne Brady was so nice. I feel like I am watching the episode back. I'm like, my voice is so fucking high. And Dom is so cute with his little twerk at the beginning. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But honestly, it was just such a great time. Good vibes. I love game shows as well, and I've always wanted to be on one. I grew up watching The Price is Right with my grandpa, and so I feel like I was born to be on a game show. You know what I mean? But I always tell people and Dom my biggest goal is to be on an episode of Grey's Anatomy, even if that means being a background actress. Paz is having a meltdown. Sorry, Paz just had a little meltdown. She's doing okay now. But I've always told people that being on an episode of Grey's Anatomy would be the goal, the dream. I would be living the high life. Doesn't matter if I'm an extra, a patient in the hospital bed that is literally dead, doesn't talk. I don't give a. I just want to be on an episode. That would be like a dream. So tag all the Grey's Anatomy people. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I thought that was super cool that it aired today. And like I said, we had gone to like The Bachelor and stuff like that, but those were more, we were in the audience. And for The Bachelor, like they fed us like a gourmet breakfast and a gourmet lunch, and we were there for 15 hours, and it was a long freaking day. But it was worth it. Don't get me wrong, it was worth it because I'm a Bachelor girly. You already know. Gen season is coming up soon, and I literally can't wait. I can't wait to shoot the shit with you guys about Bachelor because that is like my all-time favorite show. I'm currently watching Love Island right now. Dom is literally watching it with me like, I don't give a fuck what happens. I'm like, babe, it's so good. He's like, but um I'm excited for Bachelor to return. I think it's going to be a great season. I'm excited for Jen. Her men, the roster, I don't know. I don't know what it's giving yet. I haven't seen enough. Also, if you hear ruckus, it's pause, just having the zoomies, having the late night zoomies. So, but yeah, I'm really excited for that and be ready for all the Bachelor content once Bachelorette starts again July 8th. And we'll be having batch nights again. Oh, I'm so excited. Also, Roulette's experience is coming up. And if you're watching this and you're on the fence about coming, you should definitely come because it's so much fun. It's just such a great vibe. It's literally like life changing. And I can't say that enough because it changed my life. And I know it's changed so many other girls' lives. So I think that is one of the best parts about being on roulettes is getting to put on roulette's experience and help. I mean, I don't have anything to do with putting it on because that's more so Connor and Bria and Shells, but we help, get everything ready and put everything together and work the events and make sure someone's there at each of the rooms. And so it's honestly one of the best parts of my year is getting to see all of everyone and getting to bond in that way because I feel like our community is just so special to me. Having people that are like me and disabled and around the same age. It's just such a cool experience. But yeah, I think and that is literally all for this episode. I know it's like a shorter one, but we are going to have some exciting guests coming up, some of my girlies, and so I'm so excited. This weekend we're going to Chicago to perform. But yeah, I cannot wait to see you guys next week, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you haven't watched the Deal or No Deal episode, or Let's Make a Deal, Deal or No Deal. That's next. I don't know. If you haven't watched the Let's Make a Deal episode, go watch it. It's on Prime Video. But I love you guys and thank you for listening if you have so far. And yeah,
See you
see you
next
next
week.
week.
Bye.
Bye.